Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by my channel today, where you'll receive tips, techniques, and tutorials to inspire you in your own card making and paper craft projects. If that sounds like something that would benefit you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Tap the bell so you get notifications whenever new videos are posted. Today, we are going to be talking about the Falling Leaves stamp set, or actually the Falling Leaves bundle. So I just love this set. It's perfect for fall, but I just think botanicals can be used all year round as well. So you can vary the colors and you can get a lot of use out of this set. This is actually from our holiday catalog, and don't forget, when you purchase a bundle from the holiday catalog, you automatically save 10% the first time that they're released in the catalog. So make sure you pick up that bundle if you're interested in both pieces at the same time, so you get that savings. So let's go ahead and grab our paper, stamps, and ink, and let's get started. So for the paper, I have a piece of our old olive, and you know, can you see that very subtle texture on there? And isn't that a perfect name? Because I've gone ahead and embossed the front panel of this card, the front half of this card, with our subtle embossing folder. Yep, that's the name of it, the subtle embossing folder. This is one of the deeper dynamic embossing folders. So remember, when you use those, you only want to use one plate with those, only a top plate. You do not need a bottom plate because they are thicker and they will not fit through your machine with the top plate. So I've gone ahead and done the embossing for us. I've also got a piece of our cherry cobbler with the die cutting already done, and this piece is 1 3/4 by 5.5 inches is that piece. And then I've got a 1 inch by 5.5 inch very vanilla. Now, I don't know if any of you are like me. If you are, give me a thumbs up. I forget about our very vanilla. I just get so used to pulling out my Whisper White all the time, and I do love that, but I need to try and remember more often to use my very vanilla, and I think that it's a much better match with these colors today. It's not such a stark contrast. So as I said, we are using the Falling for Leaves stamp set. I do have some scraps of cardstock that I've also utilized, and I've done that in, I'll show you those pieces here in just a moment because I've already done our die cutting to save us some time. So colors I've used are Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, and, oh my goodness, what was the, Crushed Curry. There we go. Crushed Curry is the yellow that I used for our fall colors. Now, these I can show you the dies, but it's just easier for me when I can see what the die cuts do. So I wanted to go ahead and cut some of these pieces out so you could see when you get those dies what beautiful images you're going to be able. There's the detail in these die cuts. Isn't that so gorgeous? And look, you've got 3 different leaf styles that you get this beautiful, beautiful detail on. There's our green, and then you also get the die that does this edge design as well. So now the die is not as long as a 5.5 inch sheet of paper, so I did die cut it to I think it's about 4.25 inches. So it does fit across the side of a top folding card. So it is a little bit shy for the 5.5 I wanted, but I would just simply die cut, went through, and it's very easy to line it back up with these pieces that are already cut out. And so I shifted that die over and did another run through my Big Shot to get this second image. So gorgeous. Now, when you've got these detailed cuts, you're going to really benefit from a couple of tools if you can have them in your arsenal. And that is this foam mat and die brush. When you take those pieces out, run this over the metal piece, and it's going to release that die and get rid of a lot of those little bitty pieces. Now, you may also still have some pieces that you need to go in and get out of there as well, and you can use our paper piercing tool or the new take a pick tool. which I have not picked up myself yet, but that's a very handy one that is on my list of wants going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'd like to kind of round this off on these ends here. I don't like those little pieces kind of sticking up at the end of our card, so I'm just going to take my scissors and just snip those right off. So you also get, as well as those detailed dies, you get the full images, and I've gone ahead and stamped this one just so you can see that you can utilize that stamp in the stamp set to also get a die cut image out of it, as well as these two also have these two-step images on there that you can die cut out. So lots to do with this stamp set. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with this in the future, so I just want to stop in and do a really quick card with you guys. So I did die cut out more pieces than we're going to use, just so you guys could get a better view of that. So that's our paper, our stamp dies, and then the ink that I'm going to use today are pumpkin pie and old olive. So let's go ahead and get started on assembling this card. Because I've got so much of it prepped for us, this should go together pretty quickly. So my thought was I wanted to take and line this piece up at the bottom and use my sentiment across here. And I'm using the sentiment from the stamp set that says Harvest of Thanks. And then I'm going to use some of these leaves. And I like to do trios if possible usually. So we're going to kind of play and fiddle with these and see how we like them. And I think I actually just like that, really just set just like that. So I'm going to mount these up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to play with getting this in the spot that I want it first, and I'm just going to let those tops kind of lay up. I want to let them have some dimension. So I'm just coming in with my Tombow Mono Multi, and I'm just going to lay these stems down here. So very, very easy on that. And I'm going to come in so I don't get ink on my finger, or glue on my fingers while I'm working on the rest of the project, and just use a little scrap of paper there to help press that down. Now I could have used my adhesive sheets, but I did not want to have, like I said, I didn't want this whole piece adhered down. I just want it to have that dimension, and I think it just adds a little bit more to the card rather than having it stuck, the whole thing stuck down. All right, so we've got that in place. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside now, and we're going to come in and do our stamping. And I would like to do my Harvest of Thanks in the old olive. And we're going to stamp this right in the middle. Does anybody have big Thanksgiving get-togethers, large families? Our family's kind of all spread out, so we don't tend to be able to get together for all of the holidays. So let me know if you've got a gathering of, I don't know, let's say, do you get 20 or more people together for Thanksgiving? Why don't you comment below. Let me know how many people are you planning on having over for Thanksgiving dinner, or wherever you're going. Maybe you're going to be going to someone else's home for Thanksgiving. So there we've got our Harvest of Thanks, and I thought this might be just a little plain on there, and I could add some kind of bling, but instead I wanted to bring in one of these other stamps from the set. Now, this has a natural curve to it, this stamp, which I thought would be very pretty to do a little curve over here. But so I've got if I get my curve over here, that's great. But then what about when I come over here? It's going to be curving the other way. So here's a little tip. These are very pliant, our photopolymer stamps. So what I am going to do is I'm going to line this up. Whoops, got to put the correct side down there. I'm going to line this up with one of my lines, so let's go ahead and just line it up over that center X. And then I'm going to go up with this end. I'm going to go up 4 of those little 1/4 inch marks. So that's important to remember because I'm going to need to reverse that and do the opposite for the other side. So let's come on in here with our pumpkin pie, and I need to grab a piece of scrap here. So since I'm going off the edge, I don't want to get that on my paper piercing mat. And I'm just going to come in from the corner and down. Now we're going to come back in here, and I've got this, oops, there we go. Got this line back up with the center. I'm going to pull this up, keep this piece down, and I'm going to go down 4 of those lines on this side. I hope you guys can see that from there, and that's going to give me a curve that mimics the curve on the other side. So play around with your photopolymer stamps and realize that you can somewhat manipulate those to get different looks. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. So I'm going to set that aside, get my ink out of the way so I don't get it on my project. And come in here with my Tombow Mono Multi, and I'm going to just give a little bit of an edge up there on that cherry cobbler. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous color for the fall. It's also a coordinating color for some of our Christmas papers. Now, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Representative, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Rep, and I sure would appreciate your support if you're looking to purchase some of the products that you see today or any other Stampin' Up! Products. You can shop 24/7 at my website, and I will have a link to that below. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to email me, and I will have that link as well. When you use my current month hostess code, I include a free gift for you, or I send you a free gift with your purchase. So I'm going to trim this up. This is slightly longer here. I'm just going to come in and trim that little edge down. Get all of our dimensional backings off. Does anybody else find these all around the house? I tend to track them with me no matter how well I think I clean up my craft area. I end up tracking them around the house, and I'll find them in the silliest places. Alright, so I'm going to just come on in here and put that down. There we have our Harvest of Thanks card. Now let's see, I should probably come in, this is a little bit dark, so why don't I grab some more of that very vanilla, and let's go ahead and cut down a panel, and let's do a little bit of stamping on the inside there. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut a piece down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, which gives us a 1/4 inch border around our standard card base. And since I already have this gorgeous stamp out, I think I'm going to come in with some more of that pumpkin pie that I still have open, and let's go ahead and ink that up. Oh, there's one of those dimensional backings. And I'm just going to come off of the corner here and put a little bit of a pattern on the inside. That's another thing, I'm trying to get a little bit better at decorating the insides of my cards as well, just to add that little bit of an extra special touch. Pull out my Tombow Mono Multi again. This is my adhesive of choice. I love that it allows for a little bit of wiggle room when I set things down. And guess what? I got ink on my fingers. So we're gonna come in and let's see what other stamp we have in here that I may be able to cover that up with. You know what? How about we come back right back in with this little design, and I'm just going to put a few of those around and try and cover that up. And got a couple other. Okay, anybody else have those days? Anybody else? So I'm going to get my sand eraser out and do a little bit of erasing on that as well. And, or you know what? If you're not happy with it, which I'm not, there's always the ability to cover it up. So let's go ahead and I'm going to get some wipes out and clean up my hands so I hopefully don't have that problem again. And let's do take 2 of that inside. And so, hey, it's all real life, guys. I know this happens to you guys as well. So everything, well, most things are fixable in paper crafting. So let's go ahead and come on in here again. Bring out my handy Tombow metal multi-glue. And we're going to just plop that right down on there. Shh, nobody's going to know that we had that mistake underneath there. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to grab some paper, stamp, and ink and get creating. Thanks for stopping by.